Have you ever met someone who says little, reveals nothing, yet always seems 5 steps ahead? There is a rare kind of mind that doesn't just react to the world, but quietly shapes it. While others speak loudly of ambition, the INTJ plans in silence and moves with intention. Their brilliance is not about effort, but about clarity, seeing what others miss and acting before the noise begins. In this video, we'll explore the subtle yet powerful ways INTJs navigate life with quiet mastery. Stay with me, because what you'll discover may shift the way you understand strategy forever. Number 1, they see what others miss. There is a rare kind of person who walks into a room and doesn't just see what's happening. They see what will happen, not in some mystical, fortune teller kind of way, but with a strategic mind that's always zoomed out, always observing the whole board while others fixate on a single piece. That person is often an INTJ, and their gift isn't magic. It's vision, quiet, powerful, long-range vision. In a world obsessed with immediacy, with reacting to every tweet, every shift in mood, every changing trend, the INTJ is different. They pause, they think, they anticipate. Where others are drawn to surface-level drama or short-term gratification, the INTJ is already 10 steps ahead, playing a different game entirely. This is not about being clever, it's about being wise. The Stoics called this foresight, the ability to understand cause and consequence, to map actions to outcomes before the crowd even sees a pattern forming. For INTJs, this isn't learned, it's lived. Their mind operates like a silent strategist. Introverted intuition, their dominant function, doesn't just notice events, it threads them together like constellations in the sky. What looks random to others, to the INTJ becomes a web of meaning, a trajectory, a warning. It's why they don't get caught off guard often. They've already forecasted what could go wrong and what must go right. They know how today's small decision could echo into years from now, and that's why they don't rush. They don't waste their breath arguing over fleeting opinions or get emotionally ensnared in temporary chaos. Their focus is steady, always on the long-term result. They live with a kind of philosophical detachment, a calm understanding that not every battle is worth fighting and not every comment deserves a response, because they know. The person who sees the horizon doesn't panic at the waves. The world often misreads them. Their silence, mistaken for arrogance, their detachment, labeled as cold. But make no mistake, behind that quiet exterior is a mind relentlessly sculpting a future no one else can see. They don't need validation. They don't need applause. What they need is clarity, and once they have it, they build. That's what sets them apart as problem solvers, while others get lost in emotion or stuck in the moment. The INTJ sees the whole structure, the moving parts, the hidden leverage points. They don't just solve what's visible. They fix what's fundamental. They're the kind of people who won't act until the right solution is clear. And then they act with such decisiveness, it seems like genius. But it wasn't genius, it was quiet preparation. The Stoics teach us that we should live in alignment with nature, that our role is not to control every event, but to control ourselves. The INTJ embodies this. They don't seek to control people, they seek to master understanding, to study systems, behaviors, and responses with near clinical precision. This detachment gives them power, not the kind that shouts, but the kind that shapes outcomes silently when others react. The INTJ responds thoughtfully, deliberately, unapologetically, and this isn't just some cold intellectual strength, it's also a deep emotional discipline. When life goes off course, when people disappoint them, when chaos surrounds them, they don't spiral, they recalibrate. They adapt, because they've already built contingencies, they've already imagined the worst, and made peace with it, just as Marcus Aurelius reminded us. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this. And you will find strength. In a group setting, their contributions are often underestimated until the moment when everything is stuck, and suddenly the INTJ speaks. And when they do, it's not guesswork. It's a fully formed vision, a quietly engineered solution that everyone else overlooked. It's as if they just figured it out, but that's the illusion. What looked like an instant revelation was actually the product of days, sometimes weeks, of silent construction in their mind. They weren't being passive, they were being exact. And this is the lesson. The most effective minds are often the quietest. They do not perform, they prepare. They do not chase every argument. They wait, and when the moment is right, they move with a level of grace and foresight that others mistake for luck. But it's not luck. It's clarity combined with patience. The INTJ knows that life isn't about reacting to noise. It's about designing systems that produce peace, that build value, that create long-term success, not overnight applause. They are the ones who will plant seeds that may not bloom for years. But when they do, the entire landscape changes. So if you are one of them, if your mind sees further, thinks deeper, plans longer, understand this. Your quiet strength is not a weakness. It is your superpower. You don't need to explain your vision to people who live only for today. Just keep building, keep studying, keep staying 3 steps ahead. Let others chase attention. You're chasing outcomes. And if you've never met someone like this, look closer. They're not the ones who talk the most. They're the ones who leave the deepest imprint, not through noise, but through structure, through insight. Through the calm, unwavering clarity of someone who has seen the future and already knows how to meet it. At the end of the day, the INTJ doesn't need to prove themselves. The results will speak, the systems will hold, and the quiet vision they carried alone will one day become the reality that others live in. That's the power of seeing the bigger picture before anyone else. Number 2, they learn in silence and master with speed. In a world full of noise, where people constantly seek attention and external validation, there exists a rare kind of mind that learns not by speaking, but by observing, not by following the crowd, but by quietly assembling truth. The INTJ is that kind of mind, while others spend their time struggling to grasp new ideas. The INTJ often understands them before the explanation is even finished. Their minds do not merely store knowledge, they transform it. Every piece of information that enters their awareness is absorbed, sorted, connected, and layered upon an existing internal structure that grows stronger with each new insight. This is not some random gift of nature. It is the result of how their cognition is shaped by a deep, strategic form of intuition. They do not learn for entertainment or for appearance. They learn for mastery. They are not interested in surface-level facts or trivia. Their goal is understanding. And when they commit to learning something, they strip away the fluff and go straight to the heart of the matter, while others memorize details. The INTJ wants to know the why, the how, and the underlying system that makes something work. This is why they can become experts in fields that take others years to comprehend. They do not get distracted by irrelevant complexities. They look directly at the root. This is the essence of Stoic wisdom. As Epictetus taught, it is not enough to know the words of philosophy. One must understand how to live by them. And this is exactly how the INTJ learns. They internalize principles. They do not recite. They integrate. If they read a book on physics, they are not just trying to remember the formulas. They are seeing how the laws of nature mirror human systems. If they study psychology, they are not memorizing terms. They are analyzing behavior in real life and predicting future outcomes. Knowledge is never separate to them. It is a web, an ecosystem of ideas that must support one another logically. If one part is weak, they will identify it and correct it. That is why their minds move faster. not because they rush, but because they filter with such relentless precision. An INTJ walking into a new environment is not just passively taking things in, they are scanning patterns. They are testing information against what they already know, and they are doing it silently. That quiet person in the meeting who hasn't said much, they are already ahead of everyone else, having dissected the conversation, discarded the noise, and seen the implications of what is being said. When they do speak, it often shifts the entire discussion. Not because they are trying to dominate, but because their insight is simply too accurate to ignore. They do not learn for praise. They do not speak to impress. They absorb to understand, and they connect ideas to build. This kind of learning is powerful because it is active. INTJs do not wait for the world to hand them a curriculum. They pursue knowledge with intention. They study across disciplines: philosophy, economics, design, psychology, strategy. Nothing is off limits if it can offer clarity. And more importantly, they seek the intersection of these fields, where new innovation emerges. While others see knowledge in categories, the INTJ sees unity. That is where their brilliance lives. Not in accumulation, but in integration. When a problem arises, they do not panic. They go quiet, and in that silence, they access a vast inner library of mental models, examples, theories, and lived experience. They rearrange the pieces with surgical calm and return with a solution that feels both innovative and inevitable. It is not magic. It is mastery, because they have done the work long before the challenge arrived. They are not reacting. They are executing from a place of deep internal order. Part of what makes their intelligence so sharp is their resistance to passive acceptance. An INTJ does not believe something just because someone says it with confidence. They do not bow to authority or follow tradition without scrutiny. They ask hard questions, they test logic, they examine motive, and if something does not align with reason or principle, they will walk away from it, no matter how popular or widely accepted it is. This makes them immune to misinformation, trends, and manipulation. Their learning is not only fast, it is clean. It is free of emotional distortion and social pressure. It is theirs, and theirs alone. This mindset creates incredible self-trust. INTJs rarely seek reassurance from others. They already know what they believe and why. They already know what works and what does not. This internal confidence allows them to move quickly, adapt efficiently, and lead with integrity. In a crisis, when others are overwhelmed by emotion, the INTJ remains composed. They access their knowledge. They think in principles. They make the right decision, even if it is unpopular, because they are guided by clarity, not by fear. The Stoics believed that we should prepare for life like a warrior prepares for battle, not through bravado, but through discipline. The INTJ lives by this code. Every book they read, every system they study, every idea they refine becomes part of their armor. And they do not need to talk about what they are learning, they just become it. If you are someone who learns this way, do not apologize for your depth or your pace. The world may not always understand how your mind works, but it will feel the impact when your insights cut through confusion and offer order. Keep studying, keep connecting, keep building your internal world. Because what you are constructing, quietly and patiently, will one day solve problems that no one else even knows how to name. That is how INTJs outsmart everyone, not with arrogance, not with noise, but with silent mastery and relentless clarity. Let others chase attention. You are chasing truth, and that will always take you further. Number 3, they master emotion before emotion masters them. There is a rare kind of strength that cannot be rattled by tears, anger, flattery, or shame. It is not loud. It does not react with fire. It simply stands still, observing, dissecting, responding only when necessary and always with clarity. This is the silent power of the INTJ. Their resistance to emotional manipulation is not a defense mechanism, it is a disciplined mindset, and it is intimidating because it is unshakable. In a world where so many fall prey to guilt trips, peer pressure, and subtle emotional coercion, the INTJ remains unmoved, not because they are cold, but because they have trained themselves, consciously or not, to value truth above emotion and integrity above popularity. The Stoics taught that one of the highest virtues is clarity of judgment, and that no man should be mastered by external influence. This is the heart of the INTJ's power. They do not allow emotional chaos to dictate their decisions. They rise above it, they examine it, they master it. When someone approaches them with a sob story laced in expectation, or with an overly sweet compliment that smells of manipulation, the INTJ doesn't react immediately. They watch, they analyze, they look beneath the surface, asking silently, "What do you really want from me?" Their focus is not on how the message feels, but on what it means. They are not distracted by emotional theatrics or surface-level charm. They are searching for patterns, for logic, for hidden motives, and once they see through it, they act, not with drama, but with decisive calm. For the manipulator, this is a nightmare. They are used to controlling the emotional temperature in a room, used to pushing buttons and watching people squirm. But the INTJ does not squirm. They do not give the reaction the manipulator craves. Instead, they expose the game and end it, often with a single look or a few sharp words that leave no room for misunderstanding. If the manipulation continues, the INTJ simply walks away, not out of anger, but out of principle. They have no interest in staying where deceit is the currency. What makes this trait even more formidable is that INTJs are not easily deceived to begin with. Their minds are wired to notice incongruence, to sense when actions and words do not match. If someone tries to gaslight them, to twist facts or rewrite history, the INTJ's internal alarm goes off instantly. They remember the details, they compare timelines, they test the logic, and when the pieces do not fit, they say so, not emotionally, just truthfully. And there's nothing more destabilizing to a manipulator than a person who cannot be emotionally baited and refuses to bend to falsehood. The reason this works so effectively is that the INTJ does not crave external validation. Many emotional tactics work because people are desperate to be liked, to belong, to be seen as good. But the INTJ is not playing that game. Their compass is internal. They make decisions based on reason and values, not on applause or approval. If someone disapproves of them, they accept it. If someone praises them with an ulterior motive, they discard it. Their emotional independence makes them nearly impossible to control. This does not mean they are devoid of feeling. Far from it. The INTJ feels deeply, but processes emotions with structure and solitude. They do not perform their emotions for others to see. They do not make decisions while drowning in sentiment. They understand the importance of empathy, but they also understand its limits. If they help someone, it's because they chose to, not because they were guilted into it or manipulated into sacrifice. They know the difference between a heartfelt request and a veiled demand. And they do not cross their own boundaries to satisfy someone else's script. Consider a situation where someone close to them is using passive aggression or playing the victim to extract attention. A less grounded person might engage, might apologize, might give in just to keep the peace. But the INTJ sees the game for what it is. They do not scold, they do not explain endlessly. They simply step back and make it clear, I will not participate in this dynamic. And then they hold that line with quiet, unwavering strength. That is not detachment, that is self-respect. The Stoics often wrote about the necessity of distinguishing between what is within our control and what is not. Emotional manipulation thrives on blurring that line. It pulls on guilt, on fear, on belonging, hoping to make you responsible for someone else's feelings. But the INTJ has already clarified that line within themselves. They know what is theirs to carry and what is not. That clarity is their armor. This is why INTJs make formidable leaders and wise counselors. They are not swayed by drama. They do not buckle under pressure. They listen with full attention, but they filter everything through the lens of reason. Their calm is not indifference. It is discipline. And it creates an environment where manipulation dies because it cannot find soil to grow. If you have ever tried to pressure an INTJ into doing something against their better judgment, you likely discovered this truth the hard way. They will not be rushed, they will not be cornered, and they will not be guilted into submission. Their no is final, not cruelly, but firmly, because for them, truth is not negotiable, and neither is self-integrity. And if you are an INTJ, know this: your resistance to emotional manipulation is not a flaw to soften. It is a rare form of inner strength in a world that often confuses compliance with kindness. You were not designed to be easily led. You were built to lead yourself, to stand firm, and to speak truth even when it is inconvenient. Let others play games. You are here to build something real. At the end of the day, emotional manipulation only works on those who fear being misunderstood or unloved. The INTJ fears neither. Their clarity is their compass. Their boundaries are sacred. And their refusal to be used is not just wisdom, it is freedom. Number 4, they move quietly and strike with precision. There is a certain kind of power that does not announce itself. It does not speak loudly, does not demand attention, and certainly does not seek applause. It moves in silence, watching while others speak, building while others boast, calculating while others guess. This is the signature of the INTJ. While many are busy broadcasting their ambitions, the INTJ is already executing theirs. And by the time the world realizes what has happened, it is already over. The game has been won, and the pieces have already been moved. INTJs do not talk about their plans because they understand a timeless truth. The more you speak of your intentions, the more fragile they become. In the words of the Stoics, one must not waste energy on what cannot be controlled, and the reactions, opinions, and insecurities of others are precisely that. Noise. The INTJ does not need the world's validation to stay committed. They move quietly because silence is their protection. Their ambition is not up for discussion. It is a contract they make with themselves in solitude, and carry forward with a resolve that does not waver under scrutiny. They see life as a long game, a strategy not unlike chess. Every move they make is thought through not once, but many times. And, like a master player, they know that revealing their next step only gives others the chance to interfere. They would rather allow people to believe they are doing nothing than to risk interference in what they are doing silently, precisely, and deliberately. This is not deceit, it is discipline, it is self-preservation, it is the wisdom of knowing that external voices often distort inner clarity. While others seek motivation from being seen, from public accountability, from cheering crowds or shared visions, the INTJ finds strength in solitude. They work without witness, not because they fear judgment, but because they know it is distraction. If you do not understand their vision, your opinion has no weight in it, and if you do understand it, they still have no need for your applause. They are not building for the reaction, they are building for the outcome. Their secrecy also protects their energy. Many people are quick to share a plan in its infancy, only to watch it die under the weight of unsolicited advice, skepticism, or envy. The INTJ refuses to offer that opportunity. They preserve the purity of their idea by sheltering it from noise. And they do this across every domain of life. Whether it is their next business move, a personal transformation, a change in direction, or even a romantic decision, they keep it to themselves until the time for action has already passed. By the time they share it, the decision is final. The bridge is already burned. The door is already closed. What seems like sudden success to the world is in fact the result of long, often invisible work. While others scroll, talk, and speculate, the INTJ is reading, designing, preparing. They are not in a rush because they are not chasing temporary recognition. They are not interested in being the loudest in the room. They are focused on being the most effective, and because of this, they are masters of delayed gratification. The reward does not need to come now, it needs to come right. This is what makes their timing so precise. They wait, they build, they protect. And when the moment is right, they unveil not a half-formed idea, but a finished product, a result that no longer requires explanation. To others, it feels like surprise. To the INTJ, it is inevitability, and that is why INTJs are often underestimated until they are not. Because, in the absence of noise, people assume absence of progress, but what they do not see is the structure forming beneath the surface, and when it emerges, it changes the landscape completely. The Stoics often spoke of the dignity of self-reliance, of moving without the need for external comfort. This is what the INTJ embodies, a quiet independence so profound that it no longer seeks reassurance or applause. It simply does what must be done, and lets the results speak in silence. So if you are someone who operates this way, do not let the world pressure you into making noise for the sake of being noticed. Let others announce. Let them share. Let them invite distraction into their mission. You know better. You know that the strongest moves are made in silence, that the deepest power flows beneath the surface, that the clearest vision needs no audience, because when the time comes, you will not need to explain what you were building. You will simply point to what now exists, and that, more than any speech or promise, will say everything. If this spoke to something deep within you, there's more waiting for you just around the corner. These reflections are not just ideas, they're reminders of the quiet strength you already carry. So if you're drawn to this way of thinking, take a moment to subscribe. Not for me, but for your own path of clarity and self-mastery. And if you're someone who moves in silence and builds with purpose, drop a comment below with quiet strategy. I'd love to hear from you. Keep going, stay sharp, and get ready because the next video will take this journey even deeper.